just a quick reminder, please leave a thumbs up. If you feel like a thumbs down is necessary, please make a comment before you thumbs down, because after you thumbs down, you cannot leave a comment. Thank you, and enjoy. Hey guys, this is Bobby, and this is game coding. And the next step in my to-do list, bring this over here. Yeah, I make my own sound effects. I'm that rich. Yeah. Where we are. Here we go. Design game time and coding. Code creatures to randomly move, and then design to fight, because without timing we can't get the fighting going, because some weapons will hit faster, others will hit slower. And then coding fighting creatures. After creatures we'll be fighting monsters. So I guess as the start of a new week, it is Sunday. So let's start off with the basics, shall we? Time. I just wrote this one. Obviously IO stream is needed, con io.h, and then time.h for all the coding. So this is just the basic stuff. We need the con io.h for the getting character and kb hit, which is one of my favorite little chunks of code. It has allowed for so much. It's so simple and it works so well. So let's get started. Go ahead and use the namespace standard, just so it's less typing. We need to catch, basically it's system pause. I just wrote my own, just so I don't have to pull in something bigger. So this is a character catch text. It's just like hit any key to continue, and it just catches that key. We need a counter, because what I want to do is show off how fast the system runs. Now on to the time. Clock underscore t, I just called it time. It needs to be more detailed. Time now, start of time, blah blah blah. But this is just, as you can see, the whole code fits on the single screen. So we equal clock. This sets whatever the time is right now. So when the program runs past it, it sets the time. Press any key to stop time. Clock per second. We want to find out what clocks per second is. It's a standard default thing, and this is how many marks, how many ticks, how many times a second it is processing, and we'll spit that out. And then from here, if the current time is 1 second after our recorded time up here, then we enter in this little loop. Time equals clock, as in what time is it now, because we're basically resetting it. And cycles per second, how many times have we checked to see if it's been a second? And it spits out the counter right here. We set the counter to 0, and then when we're done, we set it to 0. If it's not been a second, we just increase the number by 1, and we do this loop until we hit a character and break out of the do loop. So this is the whole program right there. So once you hit the character, you grab that character, and we're done. So there's only 1 KB hit here. So let's run this, shall we? Make sure it compiles. I'm sure it does. And here we go. Press any key. So as you can see, with me doing a recording and basically nothing else, just this application in my IDE, I'm running around 40 to 42,000 processes per second. That's how fast it's running this application. As I pack more into it, the slower it will get. So clocks per second is 1,000. So for every single clock, we can do about 40 to 42 processes. Therefore, I crunched the numbers, and 60 frames a second is 16.6 clicks. So times that by 16, and that's how many processes we can do, which is... Therefore, let's just say we want to find out how much it is every... Let's see, we actually want plus divide by 60. No, we want this to check every 60th of a second. Yeah. So what we do is we want 1/60th the value. So it's basically going to be 16.666666, etc. So there we go. And close the if loop, if function, save, compile, lovely, and run. And there you go. It is now displaying at 60 frames. I cut out the testing of the 60 frames a second since it really chopped up my audio pretty bad. So I'll just say what happened. It was it showed 500 to 700 processes per frame. So you've got that much time with each frame to draw the new one. When it comes to 3D, we're moving forward. 4 years from now, I'll be moving into OpenGL and 3D modeling and all that good stuff. And with the 60 frames a second, you've got about 500 to 700 calculations per frame, or you're going to start dropping frames. Therefore, it's one or the other. Either things pop in, or you have to keep with some simple graphics, or you have to just give up your frames. Now, I don't run the fastest system due to poverty. I've said this many times. Therefore, if it can run 60 frames a second on my system, it should run amazing on everyone else's. And that's basically what I was demonstrating. It was so the plan is, once you get into the game engine, this is the biggest loop. It's waiting for a keyboard hit. We're going to have to test to make sure it's keyboard hit or the time hasn't been 1/60th of a second, which at that point we break out and process. And then we'll come right back. And then once we break, sorry, hiccups. Once we break out of the main loop, in here we're going to have to, okay, it does the keystroke, and then we're going to have to throw in another command down here for timing. So, as in update the screen, or check to see if monsters moved, or see if a monster decided to attack you, or whatever, or whether a monster attacks a creature. So that's going to be all down here, and that's where the coding is going to happen. So time doesn't have to apply to everything. It only needs to be periodically checked. I say periodically, like, I don't know, 60 times a second to see if things are updated. And in the game, in the text game, there's going to be things that requires time, like you know, you eat an apple. It's going to give you an extra 1 or 2 points of health per minute. So it's going to have to check to see if you add another health point, and if your stomach is done digesting the apple. So this is some advanced stuff that I'm not going to apply in the game, but it's something I've done in the past. You know, having a stomach that can hold up to a volume of 5, and an apple is 1, and a loaf of bread is 2, and you know, that kind of stuff. So you can only have up to like 5 health potions in your stomach, and there's nothing instant about it. It just keeps healing you. So, and once you've consumed 5 health potions, you gotta wait until you're done digesting it, which could take a little while. So it's one of those things. It's a new angle on fighting, and it's my own idea. So that's it. Thank you for watching. So the next one will be more along the lines of a progress report. So designing, usually I crack out the book, but I'm not doing it this time. I'm just going to keep it all included. So that's about it. Again, this is Poverty, and thank you for watching.